So I told you guys that I live in a small conservative town in California. Moved here when I was in the 8th grade from New Orleans, Louisiana. And so sometimes, having conversations with people who I know are conservative people, and being around them and knowing their political leanings, sometimes I wonder, especially when I'm talking to people in the public sector, if they really realize kind of the irony in some of the things that they say, and if they actually see what could possibly be coming if Republicans, especially the Trump administration, has its way. So I coach track at my former high school, which is my daughter's former high school, and I coach there because my nephews, they still go to that high school. So I go there to coach them and, coach the team in track. Because I coach at a college, but I also go out and help at the high school. So the other day I'm over there and I'm talking to two coaches. And again, small conservative town, these guys lean conservative and everything, right? And they're talking about the new esports team. It's actually pretty cool. So we have all these sports teams in these schools, and now we're starting to create these esports teams where kids are playing video games against other schools. And so one of the coaches was saying how, he has this esports team and they have to huddle up in his classroom to do it because it's the only place where it's wired to play all these games and everything. So that's where they play, his team meets and they go there to play against, other teams around the state or whatever. It's actually pretty cool. But then he starts saying how he's getting the school, the district is funding his esports team better next year. So they're going to get an actual hub to go to play these esports games. They won't have to go in his office anymore. And they have, he's like basically bragging about the stuff that they're getting, right? And he's like, man, we're getting these cool chairs, that are gaming chairs, we're getting new consoles, new controllers. It's going to be really cool. We got like I think he said something like a $50,000 grant or something, right? And one of the other coaches overhears us and he says, you better not let Elon find out about that. And then they kind of have a laugh, and then he goes, "Oh, I already put in for the money. It's already earmarked for us already, so he can't touch that." Now they found it funny, and I thought it was funny. It's a funny little joke. We're standing around, but then I think about it, and I'm like, they don't realize that is actually reality. People in the public sector who do think that they want to do everything that they can to be inclusive and help out, kids, and they love their students and all that, don't realize that if Donald Trump and Elon Musk, Republicans in this administration, have their way, we don't have esports teams. We probably stop funding regular sports teams. I mean, when they say they're going to gut the Department of Education and actually cut the Department of Education, at the same time, they're going to be taking funds in from California, for instance, right? But they're not going to be returning a lot of that money back to California. So a lot of states are going to have to make some tough decisions regarding what they decide to continue to support, right? So we know when budgets start getting cut in public schools, they start cutting arts and sports. Those are the first things to go. So on one hand, these coaches love coaching, right? They love their students. They love their athletes. They want to do everything that they can for them. But then in a lot of cases, they vote against their own self-interest because although they were having a giggle about this, that could be the reality. Like really, if Elon Musk were to be able to have control and come into your high school or my high school and start digging around, he would probably say, why are we spending all this money on gaming consoles? They would probably say, that's not even a real, that's not a sport. That's a competition. We shouldn't be funding that. Is that making the school any money? Like literally, it would come down to what's making the school money, because that's all they care about is the bottom line. So basically, the only sports that would survive at a high school would probably be football and then maybe basketball. Everything else would go if you had people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk running the schools. Now, some people out there will say, oh, well, privatize it or whatever, let kids go out and fundraise and all that stuff. That's what we do with our tax dollars, though. We choose to pay taxes so that we can have extracurricular activities that we know that are proven to keep kids out of trouble. These things are proven, but you have people out there who, at this point now, would give up their wives to Donald Trump, will change their stance to fit his ideology. People who know that the gains that they made from playing some of these high school sports, from having coaches that cared about them, from being able to be on teams and in competitions that kept them doing something and kept them out of trouble, are willing to give that away now because they love Donald Trump so much. And I think it's really interesting that a lot of people, a lot of public sector people who vote Republican don't realize how much they're voting against their own self-interest. Because here's the thing, once a lot of those things go away, these people's jobs go away as well. Their PE teachers, their special ed teachers, their RSP teachers, their resource teachers, their paralegals and or paraprofessionals and things like that. Those jobs go away when you start cutting from education. We now have kids being mainstreamed back into regular classrooms because we don't have the resources to help kids who need those resources, those special resources. And so it's absolutely it's sadly hilarious how many people vote Republican, work in the public sector, and don't realize their jobs will be on the line if these cuts are made. And that is why we have so many videos of people who have been fired lately, federal employees, IRS workers, USAID workers, who said they voted for Donald Trump, and now they're being fired because they fucked around, and now they're finding out. And unfortunately, there are going to be a lot of teachers who find out, a lot of police officers who find out, a lot of firefighters who find out, and a lot of other public employees who find out that if Republicans really get their way, a lot of their jobs are going to be cut. A lot of their jobs are going to be cut. Listen, you guys, once again, I think I'm going to thank you guys every single day for getting me to 100,000 subscribers. That's awesome. Working with YouTube to get my plaque and everything, which is absolutely crazy. I'm going to find a place back there to put it. I just want to thank you guys. I am overwhelmed with gratitude about hitting 100,000 subscribers. Just the feeling of having 100,000 of you guys on my page is absolutely awesome. If you like the shirt, Tax Billionaires, Not the Poor, please go to leftlaughs.com. Check out all the gear, all the merch. We're putting out new shirts and stuff like that every single day. So if you like it, you want to buy one, go ahead and buy one. If you can't, please don't. Just support me, as always, by continuing to like, share, and subscribe. I really do appreciate you guys. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in their heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.